Hey, water signs. Welcome in to your monthly reading for the month of August. And I hope you are having a great day today with this full moon in Aquarius. The full moon in Aquarius is certainly happening today, and there is a lot of energy change going on. Remember, with Aquarius being an air sign, it's very much energy that revolves around logic, thought, and not so much around emotions and like structural needs. It's really more about what's going on in the brain and the thought process and moving forward with decisions that way. What's going to be significant about August as well is that on the 31st, so the last day of the month, we're also going to have a super blue moon. Blue moons are it's when a second full moon happens within a single lunar month. And so we're going to start with this mega super full moon in Aquarius, and then we're going to end with a super blue moon, which is a full moon. And I believe it's going to be in Pisces. I'm not 100% certain about that, but the takeaway for that is that we're going to have lots and lots of releasing energies that happen. And then in the days and weeks that transition between those two full moons, it's going to be about bringing new stuff in. So that's really the important takeaway, is that we're going to release a bunch of stuff this week. We're going to start bringing in new things, and then anything that's residual that we still need to let go of, or that we need to do away with because it's not serving us, then that's going to be coming up for the end of the month for us to release finally, so that we can move in to September with a much cleaner slate than we have now. This is important stuff, this releasing, getting rid of all these energies and emotions, beliefs, thought patterns, all this stuff that just simply doesn't serve us anymore, right? So that we can move into a much higher vibration and a much more positive mindset and greater action, okay? So what I thought I'd do for you this month is we're gonna do a Celtic cross. And I think a Celtic cross is a really good overview of sort of where you are now, what you have put behind you, and then what's going to come in for you, okay, as we move closer towards September. So in this situation, we're going to start with the Light Seers Tarot as the base energies, and then I'm going to clarify with the mini Everyday Witch so that we can get some more information. And then at the end, I'm going to pull some oracle cards for each specific sign. So we'll do, we'll pull for Cancer, we'll pull for Scorpio, and pull for Pisces, okay? So that you can have some more specific energies around your actual sign to add some extra flavor to this reading, okay? So for the Celtic cross, the first thing we have here, this card in the center, is you, okay? And that's the Hanged Man. So with the Hanged Man, we're talking about being in a point of new perspective. We are kind of pausing in order to sort of digest this new perspective. And that's what's going to take us. That's really a very good place to be at the start of a period of change, because it means that you know that there's stuff that you still have to resolve, but at the same time, you're committed to taking a new perspective on it and making decisions in a different way in order to move forward. Now, the next energy is going to be the energy that crosses you. So think of this as sort of the challenge position, and you've got the Five of Swords, okay? So that one will be read like this. We've got the Hanged Man and the Five of Swords. I think let's do it. I'm going to cram them like that so you can keep seeing both of them, okay? And with the Five of Swords, fives are really about challenges, and they're about inner conflict more than outer conflict, but sometimes, conflict is conflict. And it can also be about just feelings of lack or transitioning feelings of lack. And it's that conflictual process as you go through it. So this is just showing that, yeah, there's still some of that stuff that's coming to the surface that you need to get rid of. But we know that that's what this is all about. That's what these full moons are here to help us with, right? All right, so then in the third position, we have what crowns you. So this is sort of your higher self, the higher space. And ooh, you have the King of Cups. Now that's beautiful because that's emotional mastery. The King of Cups is really, it is the highest, the most mature level of emotion that we can keep within us as humans. And so it really is about being in a spot of emotional mastery. And so if you really are in this situation of having a new perspective, this is why your perspective has changed maybe radically over the last few months, is because you've really been moving into this King of Cups energy. And so the King of Cups allows us to really look at our emotions, to find them in a place of balance, so that we're just not overly emotional, that we're not just emotionally driven, that all of our thought processes or all of our decision making comes from emotion. So it really is about having a beautifully balanced emotional state, kind of mind and heart together. So the King of Cups is magnificent. He's also a bit of loving father energy. So it might be that there is a more masculine energy. Could be you, could be somebody in your world who is super mature and very emotionally balanced, who can be a resource for you as well. So it may mean, if it's not representing you, then it may mean that there's someone else who's bringing that to your world, and that will be there to help you. And then keep in mind, one of the things I didn't say up front is not all of these messages, this is a general reading, so not all the messages are going to resonate with everybody, but just take what makes sense, take what resonates with you, leave everything else, okay? Because it might not be for you. All right, underneath we've got, this is what's under you. So underlying current stuff, look at that, the Page of Swords. That's the positive thinking. You know, that's the learning to be positive. So this is beautiful, guys, because this is really showing that transient state of where you're starting this month at. And it's all changing from sort of this Five of Swords, lack, negativity, confusion, conflict type of state into this more positive and more balanced state of mind and heart. That is a beautiful place to get started. Okay. So then in terms of what you've left behind in recent weeks or months, we've got balance, and this, or temperance. In this case, that's really talking about, sort of perfect balance, perfectly expressed. However, I don't think that this is saying that you've left your balance behind you and you're no longer balanced. I think what this is saying is that you've left imbalance behind you, even though it's upright. We'll clarify it with Everyday Witch and get it, but my guides are saying, no, we've left this state of imbalance where we weren't focused on being balanced, and now we're ready to move forward in a place where we are focused on balanced. So what's before you? Movement forward, the Six of Swords. We're moving forward into something with a better mindset. And this Six of Swords I like because it's a little different than the traditional Rider-Waite one, which shows you looking at the boat from behind them as they move forward. And you can see that they're just getting started on that movement forward, and they still have quite a way to go to cross from one shore to the next where they're in healing waters. This one is different because you see here, it's kind of amazing. You really see how far they've come. I mean, the horizon is way back there. So she's come super far forward. And all of these ravens that are flying forward are really the positive thoughts that are leading the way. This is that positive mindset that's leading the way. And these that have turned back are the ravens that were all the negative thoughts. They don't serve her anymore. And so she is moving forward into the wind, and she's prepared, and she's got lots of positive thought energy that's moving forward. Okay, so when we get over here to the long line of cards, in terms of attitude, this is sort of where your attitude space is. 8 of Wands, that's awesome. Because this means you're energy charged, you're ready to go, your communication You're ready to talk to people. You're ready to really take action on the things that maybe you've been procrastinating on, or something that you weren't sure how to proceed, but you're just going to say, yep, we're going for it. So looking at this Six of Swords energy with this Eight of Wands energy, that's like saying, you know what? I am just going forward. I'm not going to worry about where I end up. I'm just going with it. And I'm just going to move it. I'm going to move forward into this power energy mode. And I love the fact on this one that you see the wands really they're going into the light. They're going into infinity. So this is really about moving forward. Sometimes in the Rider-Waite, traditional Rider-Waite images, you'll see the wands either moving in this direction or they're moving in this direction, showing that they're just taking off or they're just about to land. But this one isn't. You're going with the wands, and you're basically going, to quote, I think it's Buzz Lightyear, to infinity and beyond, right? You're ready to go and move forward. So this is really beautiful. This is magnificent because it says you're exactly where you need to be. You've got the right attitude. So this next card is what's influencing you or your situation. And the Nine of Wands is really it can be about perseverance. It can also be about stress in its sort of negative thought form. And I think in this situation, we'll get more when we go in to clarify it, but it could be that there are folks around you that are sort of keeping that energy charged with a little stress. And there's a lot of people, I used to be one of them, who, if you ask them about stress, they'll go, oh, it makes me a much better performer. Having a little bit of stress just makes me a much better performer. But from an actual mindset perspective and from an energy perspective, any energy that's stressful or overbearing is actually putting your physiology of your body and your brain into the fight or flight mode. It's actually putting you into that mode because that's what adrenaline and epinephrine do. Those are the chemicals that are released when we start getting into that stress thing. And we do perform better because it increases the heart rate, and that increases the respiratory rate, and then that increases oxygen going to your muscles, and it makes you move faster and you feel supercharged. But the reality is that it's not a very good behavior. It is a stress-induced behavior, and there's a ton of physiological things and emotional or psychological issues that actually come from prolonged states of stress like that. So it's just this different perspective. We're just keeping an open mindset. So we'll clarify and find out if this is more perseverance energy or if this is really about stress. We'll clarify that and see what we have coming in. And then this is what you hope or fear. And in this case, you're hoping that confusion about, that you can work with other people and not be confused or not be stressed out about, not be in an anxiety space with it, or not be going in every direction. That expression about running around, it's really about being able to move forward and use your energy beautifully, like this Eight of Wands, this movement forward versus Five of Wands, which again comes back. It's similar to Five of Swords. It's kind of conflict energy. The energy is going this way and that way and this way and that way. And so it starts to create sort of this place of confusion, or at the very least, it will increase your fatigue and your weariness and things like that. So what you're hoping for is that that's going away, right? And then in terms of the outcome position, oh man, woohoo! Ace of Swords, that's your breakthrough. That's beautiful. Whoa, that's awesome. Thank you, guides. All right, let's clarify some of this stuff. All right, so you in the Hanged Man position, got a different perspective. You're ready to move forward. Spirit, what is it? And with that, I have to put glasses on to read these because they're so tiny. Oh, wow, look. Page of Cups. The Page of Cups, these little tiny cards, all right? So this is you've learned some emotional things, and that King of Cups energy really shows that. But you really have learned some things about your own emotions and your feelings, and that's what's led you to this place to be able to move forward in an entirely different mindset. And that's so that's so advantageous. I mean, truthfully. All right, and in terms of this Five of Swords that's kind of been crossing you all along, or sort of that underlying energy, look at this. We have the Nine of Pentacles. That's converting to happiness. You know, the Nine of Pentacles is like sort of the independence, the happy, independent, abundance card, right? So this is basically saying that you've moved from this and you really are moving into that state of abundance. You're feeling strong about who you are, who you want to be. You are not stressing about doing things on your own, or just being solid and strong in your own shoes, as you walk your path. That's really good. That's great transformation of energy. You guys have definitely been doing some work. This is beautiful. Okay, Spirit. So let's talk about what about this King of Cups? What do you have to show us with the King of Cups? And so this is the Nine of Wands. And so the King of Cups basically is mastered this Nine of Wands. And if you've been worrying, if this represents somebody, somebody's energy in your field, maybe you've been worried or stressed, about that person's interactions with you, or maybe you've been concerned that person would overshadow you in some way. But this is showing that no, you've really learned to look at this whole idea of stress and this worry state and even perseverance. If you're not a stressful person, then it certainly represents perseverance. And this says by learning this emotional mastery, you've actually learned how to deal with those energies, the stress energies or the perseverance thing. And now you've really mastered all that because you're in a higher vibration of love and emotion that is keeping you in this beautiful balanced state. All right, in terms of this Page of Swords, what else, Spirit, do we have to clarify that? We have the Two of Wands. So this is a choice. This is a choice on what action to take. Your Page of Swords is giving you such positive thinking process that now you have a choice and you get to decide how to proceed. And you know what they're telling me? It doesn't matter which one you pick. You're going to get to the same place either way, right? So it just depends on if you want maybe a shorter, quicker route, then you do a longer route, or a more robust route, or maybe you want the longer, more robust. Maybe you want the wandering path versus the movement quickly. So you get to choose how to move forward because you're now in such a positive mindset. You're able to choose. If you couldn't choose before, you felt stuck, now you can. You're ready because you really feel in a great positive state of mind. What we left behind in terms of this Temperance. Let's clarify this Temperance. Yep. There it is. That was the Five of Pentacles. That was the feeling of being, maybe you felt like you were on the outside looking in. Maybe you felt a little lackluster. You felt like you didn't have enough resources. Maybe you felt, sad or lonely. This is where Temperance came in. So Temperance has balanced all that out, which is what's allowing you to go here to this Six of Swords. All right, show us, Spirit, the Six of Swords. Give us some idea. Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. That allows you to move forward in abundance, right? It moves forward. Now, Knight of Pentacles tends to be a slower moving knight, but in this deck, he's taken off because he's on a broom, right? He's going to go flying. So he's taken off. So you are ready to move forward. If you haven't already started this movement forward, you're about to do it rapidly. Okay, what about the Eight of Wands, Spirit? Okay, we've got the Hermit. So to me, with the Hermit card, this says that you might have been spending a lot of time either in study or meditation. Maybe you've just been alone. Maybe you didn't feel like dealing with people, that you needed your own counsel in order to work on some of these really cool things that you've been doing. But you're moving out of this with this Eight of Wands. You're moving out of the Hermit phase and shooting forward, going to where you need to go. So you're going to be talking to a lot more people. Your energy is going to be very robust, and you're going to be making connections with people and having, you know, awesome conversations and working on potentially on projects or ideas or creative things. You have some serious energy moving forward. All right, Spirit, let us know about this Nine of Wands in terms of who's influencing our water signs here. Ace of Wands. Look at that. So with the Ace of Wands and the Nine of Wands, to me, this looks more about perseverance than it does about stress. Now, for some of you, it still could be the stress thing, right? You could have been stressed about, when will my new beginning start? When will something better come in? When will I get my break? For others of you, it was, I've been working and working and working, waiting for the new beginning, and it's still not here. Either way, the Ace of Wands, this is the energetic new beginning, moving like forward. So you are well on your way to moving into something, whatever this new beginning is that you wanted, you are moving into it seriously. All right, and then in the hopes and fears, what do we have about this Five of Wands? What is this Five of Wands about? Look at this, the Three of Wands. So you've gone from not really being able to work collaboratively with I can't speak. You've gone from being able to work collaboratively with others, this period of not being able to really do that, either creating conflicts, maybe if you're on a work team or your family or just your group of friends. Maybe there's been, it feels like the last few months, there's been some squabbles or some, you know, people are not agreeing on things or everybody wants to do something different and it's been a source of frustration. This Three of Wands is about bringing the ships in. It's also, because it's a three, it's also about working together, right? So even though you've had what felt like confusion and conflict and feeling like your, you know, your, whatever, whoever your group is, whether it's work group, friend group, family group, all of the above, you're now working collaboratively. And I love this one because you see the magic wand, you see all that energy that's being created there. She's manifesting exactly what she wants. And she's doing it because she's been able to successfully work. She's been working with, in this case, her cat, her familiar, so that she can, maybe that's your spirit team, she can bring you, so that she can bring in what she wants to manifest. So that Five of Wands, you've overcome. So we've gone to maybe not so successfully working together to definitely working together and bringing it in. In terms of the outcomes, we've got the Tower on top of that Ace of Swords. Now, everybody freaks out about the Tower, okay? But here's the thing. Even though the Tower, the one truth about the Tower is that it's sudden, right? Like you don't see it happening. And it really is demonstrative of divine intervention, okay? And so even though the images are horrible on a lot of the cards and you see people falling out of the tower as it's blowing up and all these kinds of things, this card's not really like that. You see the magic. You see the magic moving through the tower and around the tower. Something's changing. But here's the thing. This, like if you look at the witch in the foreground of this card, she sees that there's smoke and then there's magic. There are things, the tower sort of, you know, it looks like it's half burnt down, but she's looking back and she's like, if you notice the landscape all around, nothing else is harmed in this picture. Like nothing's been burned to the ground. Nothing has been scorched or torched. There's been nothing, you know, it's just that part of the tower has been torn down. And in this case, this is spirit coming in saying, look, we know that the road you've been on, when we give you tower moments, a divine intervention to help you on your path, we know it was uncomfortable. And we know a lot of times that you really felt like we were breaking you down into tiny bits. But what we were doing is partially tearing out the stuff that doesn't work, the unstable parts of you, the parts of you that weren't solid, that weren't foundational. And we took those things away to clear way for you to have this Eight of Swords to rebuild into a strong steady, tall tower that's not leaning, so that you could move forward into this fantastic Eight of Wands. So basically, the tower is talking about divine intervention coming in and giving you this brand new breakthrough for this brand new beginning. That is awesome stuff. I really like under, you know, how this is laying out for the whole piece. It tells a beautiful story. And a lot of times I do like to read in a story when I read cards, because I think it does take us, it's better for everybody to understand if you see your own story and how the changes have come. This is a beautiful story, water signs. You've done a lot of great work. Spirit's basically reinforcing you that they're helping you. They're here to help you, and they've always been here to help you. And you're moving into these aces. Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords. You are moving forward into the new beginning. You've got tons of cards of self-mastery. You've got Temperance. You've got the King of Cups. This is really, you've got several pages. This is really about moving forward as pretty much a whole new person on the inside. So think about what that really means for you guys as you move forward. What does that really mean? If you're completely transformed on the inside into somebody who feels with more maturity and uses their emotions more responsibly, somebody who is now really positive thinking instead of either negative thinking or feeling like that the world is crashing in on them, they're able to, you know, that you're able to see that the glass really is half full. And you've got all this energy, this actionable energy to move forward, and you're stable, you're solid. Think about what this means for the coming months. You are really poised to find your power and to move into whatever you're destined for, or whatever your goals are that you want to achieve. So you've done some amazing work. I think it's fantastic. I hope that you think so too. I hope that you see and give yourself credit for the work that you've done, because you've done a tremendous amount of work. And clearly through some of these cards, some of the work you had to do was very scary and very sad and very isolating and intense. And yet you've managed to master it, to move forward. So what I want to do next is I'm gonna just get the oracle deck, and we're gonna pull some oracle cards and maybe clarify with tarot for each of the three signs. Okay, so for here we have for Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Okay, Cancer. So for you have the Pearl, which is about alchemy, the reward at the end, from grit to grace. That totally describes what we just did in that reading. That's amazing. And with it, you have wonders. I love this card because I just love that big giant crystal in space. Look, if you really look at these two together, the pinks, the blues, this is really about, you've done the work. You know, she's holding a pearl, and then this is a crystal. And these are the two beautifully valuable items. You know, crystals and pearls are really notable because they're created under the pressures and the stress of intense energies. In this case, within the earth, and in this case, within the oyster. The oyster, it gets grit in its system, and it just tolerates the grit, because it can't get out of there. And then over time, it secretes enzymes and chemicals that start to bind to that grit. And the next thing you know, there's this beautiful, lustrous pearl in there. And the same with the earth, creating crystals and stones, is that we're known that those come from pressure. So this is really saying that you've done some incredible work, Cancer. You really have. And that reading was right on the money for you guys. from grit to grace. That's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. All right, Scorpio. You've got follow the stream, dedication, trust, future rivers and oceans. And you have taking risks. Okay. So what this is saying for you, Scorpio, is that your biggest opportunity right now is saying yes to things that typically in the past would have either made you fearful or would have made you uncomfortable. This is about taking a risk on something new, something different, really applying yourself to it. I love this because you see the nautilus shell here in this card here. And the nautilus shell, that's a demonstration of the golden ratio, the divine perfection. It's the equation that is what they call the equation of beauty. It shows why the human form is as beautiful as it is, and that kind of thing is because of the golden ratio that can be seen in the nautilus shell. And the nautilus shell is a spiral going from the larger, the outside, and moving its way into something tighter where you really weigh in. You're really narrowing down what it is that you need to know and do. And that's really what this is telling you about it. You are definitely on the right path. These rivers and oceans, this is what's moving you toward it. But take the risk. Don't be afraid to go there. Don't be afraid to try something that you haven't tried before. Because the risk is going to pay off, and it's going to take you into these places of amazement spiritually and emotionally and mentally and physically as well that you only dreamed about. So that's your challenge, Scorpio. Don't be afraid to take risks. All right, Pisces, you have cleansing, releasing the old, the energetic tune-up, and a new beginning, along with success. I love this because there's this beautiful panther in there. Actually, it's probably a black jaguar, but it looks like a panther. Either way, it doesn't matter because you see the dawn breaking over the mountains. You have done the work. You have forayed into the forest or into the jungle, and the dawn is breaking. So get rid of the old. This again goes right along with what the main part of the reading said. You're releasing the old, and that's changed your energy. You've gone from the energy of lack, of conflict, of fear and negativity, and now you've completely moved into something that is positive and a little fearless. And you're ready to move to the next step. So this is the new beginnings. I hope that these readings will have brought you some joy and some things to think about as you move forward in this month. There's some really great ritual things you can do on the full moon if you need to release other stuff. Some great rituals are through sitting water in a bowl or a glass outside under the light of the full moon, and then bringing it in the next morning and pouring it over yourself to rid yourself of any negative energies that are still on your person. Another thing you can do if you want to get rid of thoughts or thought forms or beliefs or release people who maybe weren't that helpful in your life, according to you. Great thing you can do is write. You can write statements, intentions down on paper. I release so-and-so and forgive them for blah, blah, blah. I am releasing my negative thoughts. I'm releasing my worries about this, or this. And then take a nice metal bowl, cauldron, if you have a charcoal grill or something like that, and you can just gently burn each paper into dust, and then that will release that energy back into the atmosphere so that the moon and the Earth Mother and the Sky Father can transition those energies, reabsorb them so that they can move into a more positive state. The other thing you can do is just do a ritual bath. Take your favorite bath salts or your favorite herbal shower scrub or something that feels very releasing and very uplifting. And just do, a bathing ritual or take your shower. And as you rinse off, as you cleanse the surface of your person and then rinse it off and the water goes down the drain, you're releasing a lot of those energies and beliefs and thoughts. Okay. So those are just some ideas. Have a magnificent August. I think you're going to. I think you are opening up to lots of fantastic things. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. It just helps the messages get out to more people, puts it in the algorithm so that other people can see it. And I thank you so much for tuning in and for supporting me in this venture. And I'm so happy with where things are headed for you guys in the water signs. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next month. Bye-bye.